Hi, my name is Nuno Marques and I'm the director of Porto Piano Fest. It's my pleasure to welcome Jean Saulnier, one of our artist faculty, a brilliant pianist, and our guest for tonight. Jean Saulnier is joining us live from Montreal in Canada, where he lives and he teaches at Université de Montréal. Our relationship with Porto Piano Fest and Jean Saulnier started in 2018, and since then we've been thrilled to welcome him every year. He has a very interesting project, which is the recordings of Chopin on a Pleyel piano from 1848, and he's going to talk to us a little bit about that. Before Jean Saulnier joins us, let's just listen to our first musical excerpt, the Mazurka Op.17 number 2 in E minor. Hi, Jean.
Hi, Nuno.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about this project, this Chopin Pleyel project?
So I thought that maybe that would be interesting for the students to get a feel of what the Pleyel is like, because everybody's playing so much Chopin, and that's the Chopin's piano. So that was something that was very important for me. I did a recording a long time ago, actually. It's almost 20 years now. But it was just the beginning of, a different way of thinking about Chopin for me. So it was really helpful on so many levels. And now I listen to the recording, and I realized that I learned so many things after. So there's some things I wouldn't do the same, but still I'm quite satisfied with the general result, because I think I fell in love with the instrument.
So how did you discover this piano?
Well, it's totally by chance, because actually I was replacing somebody who couldn't do the concert. That was the first concert that was made on this piano. That's a friend of mine, piano technician from Quebec, who've been working on this piano. He rebuilt it completely. I think it took 2 years to do it. And there was supposed to be an inauguration at there was an exhibition at a museum on Poland, and there was supposed to be the inauguration there. And he asked me if I could do it. And I said, yeah, sure. And I answered what we usually answer. I'll be there the day before to try it. He said, oh, no. You should come earlier because that's a different piano. And I'm glad I did, because that was the first impression is an impression of confusion, because you cannot trust your habits. You cannot trust your technique. You cannot trust the distance. You cannot trust your conception of the piece. So that's at first was pretty difficult. Actually, there's an interesting story, because the builder is Marcel Lapointe. I was trying the piano at this place, and so he was doing his business, but listening all the time and interrupting me to tune a note, or so he was really listening. And I've been practicing, I guess, for 3 days, I believe. And so he came to me from time to time. We're discussing, and at the end of the 3 days, he told me something that first he felt that there was me and the piano, like two different entities that were meeting. And he saw in practice that I was in the process of meeting the piano, getting along with it, adjusting and doing things that the piano liked more than. And then the last day he said the piano was changing. So like there were 3 steps. So the first confusion, then you adjust to the instrument, and then the instrument is adjusting to you.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, that was a kind of love story. Mm-hmm. Maybe a love-hate. Because some things are more difficult, because the octave is a bit smaller, and there's no double action. The sound decay is so rapid. At first you think it's a problem, but then it's becoming a tool that you can use. You learn what to do. So then another range of possibilities that we're not exploring very much on the piano.
I wanted to ask you, why did you choose these pieces, these particular pieces?
Just because I love them.
That's it.
This. Another reason I just love the Chopin music, and I think that for me the first ballade is one of the greatest. I think that's the one I love most, even more than the number 4, which is so accomplished in a way. But there's this something in the storytelling and the drama that is quite amazing in the first one. So I
have to say that this is quite a special recording. And talking about the first ballad, let's listen to it. Let's listen to the first ballad number 1, Opus 23 in G minor. after this wonderful music, let's talk a little bit about Chopin and his piano, his Pleyel. Would you like just to tell us a little bit about the relationship between Chopin and Pleyel?
Well, that's the piano he loved best. Actually, the other piano that was really famous at the time in France was the Erard, and Erard was the inventor of double action. Mm-hmm. So you don't have any on the Pleyel, and Pleyel was kind of resisting the evolution of in a way. Pleyel was really attracted to old values and tradition, and at some point they had to use the double action as well because the advantages are so obvious. But it was pretty late, and I think they suffer from doing it very late. We're so used to it now that when you do a trill on any piano, it's so easy to do because you don't need to lift let the key go up completely. You can trill and stay in the key, so that make it so much easier. And we love that. In a Pleyel, it's impossible. You need to. The key has to go up completely. So to do a nice trill, well, actually, there's some trills in the Nocturne, and that was quite difficult to do because it's a long series of trills changing on notes, and you have to lift the keys completely, and you want to get something very smooth and not like articulated like crazy. So that's quite a challenge. But despite of all this, Chopin loved that piano more than anyone and any other, because he felt that even Erard, which is a lot easier to play in a way, that was dangerous to play this piano because of the ready-made sound you can get on it. So you can get really lazy and it's still beautiful. So you cannot be lazy on the Pleyel. You have to take care of things.
We have a recording of a Nocturne Opus 62, number 1 in B major. Can you tell us something specific about this Nocturne, about playing this Nocturne on this piano?
Well, these are very special Nocturne because there's a lot of polyphony in it. I mean, the role of the accompaniment is really incredible, and it's like Chopin is very close to Couperin in many ways, and some of these Nocturne and other pieces as well show such richness in the inner voices and friction and tensions that are so incredible, and they are supported with the pedal markings that are also incredible. And that's something I like very much. Incredible beauties inside. The melody is beautiful, but it's kind of plain beautiful. Mm-hmm. But what's in the middle is like so incredible.
What's in the side? Yes. So let's propose. Let's listen to the Nocturne, Opus 62, number 1 in B major. What a wonderful recording. Thank you so much for this. So let's talk about playing this piano. What are some technical resources of the instrument? What are some of the possibilities that it allows you, and what are some of the limitations?
Well, let's talk about first about a kind of limitation, but that can lead us to something more positive. So the rapid decay of the sound. That's a problem when you come to the piano and you try to sustain a line like we do on a modern piano. So it doesn't work, because your reflex is to compensate by playing it louder, and it gets uglier and uglier. So it's impossible to go in that direction. So you soon discover that you have to shape micro cells and shape with little waves, little patterns to obtain a line that is quite different. So you have to forget a bit about the long line. So I remember that I was playing the fantasy as well, and I did not succeed so much because I think that I was too attached to the long line, and I couldn't get rid of it, and the piano wouldn't let me do that. So, but this is the first thing you realize. So you have to do different, to have a different plan. Like when you have something like the last movement of the B minor sonata, that's really a challenge on the piano, because it will get ugly at some point. So you have to use it with little waves and go back, softer dynamics, and build up gradually, because there's a limit to the intensity. On the other hand, you have so incredible characterization of different registers. It's like you have 4 pianos in front of you. So the upper register is like, actually you understand when Chopin is writing these small arabesques with these little notes. It's so amazing and magical on the Pleyel, because it sounds like a guitar. It's so poetic. So this is incredible. And the middle register is so intense. If you play like around here, melody like that on Pleyel is totally amazing. It's impossible. It sound on a modern piano, the melody sounds so unfocused, and you have such nobility, and you have the bass as well, that are quite amazing because of the purity of harmonics. So you have different pianos. It seems to be a problem, because with time we're looking for a piano that the sound is the same all the way. That's the quality of a piano now. Huh? So if you say, well, the sound is changing, we should not be aware of a change of the sound. But on the Pleyel, it's changing a lot. So maybe it creates a problem, but you have the Chopin's music that is very well adapted to that. Mm-hmm. And I think he was inspired by it. Because this place you play the music, he said, oh, that's why it's written like that. Because the piano is, there was a couple of passages for me where it was really obvious in the Nocturne that it was composed on the Pleyel.
Did that fact change the way you play on a modern piano?
Yes, well, because you learn, you have a different feeling for the music. And of course, it helped as well. I would hope that everybody has a chance, every pianist has a chance to try Pleyel, because I think it brings a lot of ideas, different ideas, and will help certainly when you get on the modern piano. First, we're so used to connect basses. And if you look carefully at Chopin pedal, he's not connecting pedals all the time. And today it's difficult not to connect the basses. Why is it? Because the dampers on the modern piano are so effective that when the sound is cut, it's so abrupt that it seems to be very important. And on Pleyel, the difference between the sound with pedal and without pedal is less different than on a modern piano. So when you cut the pedal, it's not that abrupt. And so if you look at the Chopin markings with the pedals, we don't do it quite often because we think we know how to put the pedal when we play Chopin, because we have a feel of how it should sound, and we like it sounds so much better when we connect the basses. But if you look carefully, he's not connecting the bass as often as we think. And so after playing on the Pleyel, you try it on a modern piano, but you have to use the half pedal. Otherwise, when you cut it too abruptly, it's really not satisfying.
From this group of works that we have here that we're presenting today, what was the most difficult to play and the simplest one for you to play?
I was quite happy with everything. I know the trills were something difficult to do, no, at that point, once I was adjusted to the piano, it was a pleasure. I mean, I was playing with sounds, and so I didn't. I wouldn't describe it in terms of a struggle anymore after that. The struggle is at the beginning, when you have to change your mind and adjust. But after that, it's only pleasure.
Any final thoughts on this project, on this music?
We think of Chopin, and the tradition is make us believe Chopin is a very, of course, he's very romantic, and he was very famous for the sense of on line and the bel canto and all that. But he was also rooted in the tradition, and the fact that he did love the Pleyel piano is another proof of that, because Pleyel also was great admirer of Mozart, and he was reluctant to use the newer devices, and so Chopin is a bit like that, and you discover that how attached he is to polyphony, simplicity, and so playing on an old piano like that is helping you to realize all these things.
Would like to finish with this wonderful, wonderful recording of the Barcarolle in F sharp major, opus 60. I think it's one of the great pieces of the piano repertoire, one of the great pieces of Chopin, and a great interpretation. I just want to say thank you so much for this music.
I'm looking forward to next year. I'm sure everything is going to be fine, and we'll be together again and with the students.
We'll certainly hope so. So let's finish with the Barcarolle in F sharp major, opus 60 by Jean Saulnier.